necessary to find obsolete as no longer in use or misused or neglected. Doesn't mean they're not workable, but just something else has come to replace them.
There are many things that people thought would be forever, but the truth is that a lot of things change with time. The 1970s was a decade of great innovations, change, and advancements, and as a result, has unforgettably impacted the world, especially with technology, birthing efficient and effective gadgets. These gadgets did not only reshape our world, but became the foundation of what we've got today. However, some of these gadgets have become unfashionable and have fallen out of use. Now, who would have thought the world could ever do without these things? Wood wall paneling. Throughout the 1970s, wood wall paneling was a common interior decorating option and was present in a lot of homes. This kind of wall treatment not only helped with soundproofing, but also gave the space an earthly, rustic feel. If this wood paneling wall were this amazing as we remember, then they wouldn't have gone missing. Unfortunately, wood paneling is no longer common in today's contemporary homes. While some people still like the look of wood paneling, you can't find them today because newer materials like drywall, vinyl siding, and even wallpaper have replaced them as a result of design and technological advancements. Now, just as wood paneling disappeared, so too did our next favorite staple from the 70s, wall phones. Nearly every home in the 1970s had a wall phone. Mounted on the wall, these large rotary dial devices had a cord that extended from the wall to the handset. Now, before being replaced by more contemporary phone models like cordless or cellular phones, wall phones were in use for a long time. Speaking of long, how long were those cords, right? Like, mom could wind a course through the living room and the bathroom and the kitchen and cook and then still make her way back to the living room. It was crazy. Anyway, even though these antiques are no longer in style, collectors still find value in their distinctive designs and nostalgic appeal. These phones, with their characteristic shape and ringtone, continue to bring back happy memories of bygone eras for those who were old enough to recall them. You know, I wonder sometimes, if the 1970s had so many fun innovations, why can't we find any more of them in today's world? Of all the things to have gone out of style, one of the big ones that I miss the most are beanbags. In the 70s, beanbags were a popular product, both soft and pliable. Beanbags make for cozy seating in a variety of settings. Now, they could range in size from big loungers ideal for unwinding after a hard day to tiny little beanbag cubes. You know, you also didn't have to worry about difficult lifting tasks because they were made out of lightweight materials like foam, making them super easy to move around your house or throw at your sister when she was being obnoxious. Now, as the beanbags vanished, we're gonna take a look at the next thing on the chopping block: big stereo systems and record players. A record player and a large stereo system were necessities in every home during the 1970s. They were frequently enormous pieces of furniture that took up a lot of space in living rooms, but it was the only way to listen to music at home. These systems were so adored because their sound quality was far superior to anything else on the market at the time. It also provided a reason for people to flaunt their record collection. Now, who wouldn't want to hold on to these and keep enjoying more timeless music? Sadly, you can't really find many of these around anymore. The primary reason is that smaller devices that fit in our pockets or on shelves have largely replaced the big booming systems of the past, especially when you consider modern Bluetooth speakers, which are a fraction of the size, cost, and sound way better. You know, if we would have stopped here, that would have been a relief, but no, we've still got a few more items on our list. Next up is a great feature of the times that everybody thought would last forever, but it didn't. We're talking about the typewriter. In the 1970s, typewriters were a common sight in every home and workplace. For writers who wanted to finish their work quickly and effectively without relying on pen and paper or pricey typesetting equipment, the typewriter was a crucial tool. It was also really great for this guy who had super sloppy handwriting. Now, the main tool for word processing, this gigantic noisy machine, was used to type out letters, essays, articles, and even books. but they vanished because computers decided to show up on the scene. That's like being sacked from your job at 10 years because you're just getting old. Now, if you thought the disappearance of the typewriter was bad, then what are you going to think about your good old-fashioned trusty waterbeds? Waterbeds were among the most loved of the audacious and daring home decor experiments in the 1970s. And if you're like me, you've probably got parents who still have theirs. Now, at the time, waterbeds were considered revolutionary since they provided a more comfortable sleeping experience than conventional mattresses. College students and young adults looking for something different for their bedrooms took to them right away. But eventually they went out of style and are no longer found in contemporary homes. And next up, we've got the super squishy, often squeaky, for reasons unknown, linoleum flooring. This was one kind of resilient flooring that gained a lot of popularities in the 1970s. Natural ingredients used in its production include ground limestone, linseed oil, cork dust, wood flour, and tree resins. If properly maintained, linoleum flooring has got a long lifespan and can endure for decades, but so can the hardwood flooring often found underneath it. Now, additionally, it requires a little bit of upkeep and is reasonably simple to clean with just water and a light detergent. It also comes in a lot of varieties of colors and patterns, so you could always pick the one that closely matched your decor style. When considering its adaptability, toughness, and affordability, linoleum was once the preferred option for a lot of homeowners in the 1970s. Even beautiful things don't last forever. Eventually, they fade out, just like floral patterned furniture. Okay, floral patterned furniture was a common fixture in homes during the 1970s. Floral patterns were prevalent on couches and chairs, lending a certain charm to any space. Floral furniture wasn't just found on couches. You could also frequently find bookcases, tables, and shelves with pretty floral patterns printed on them as well. It got to a point where the only thing that wasn't floral were the grandkids whenever they visited, but grandma's slippers took care of that. See, these furnishings did more for people than just add style to their homes. They created a comfortable, homey atmosphere. Now, there's no doubt that these striking prints still have a place in contemporary homes for people who value vintage style, even though some may consider this trend a little bit out of style today. There are also certain things that Gen Zs know nothing about, and one of those is the floor TV. A common element of the 1970s home decor was the floor TV. Many homes had separate units for the living room, bedroom, and kitchen. Now, these large, bulky units had wide screens and tall cabinets. When flat-screen TVs were introduced in the 1980s and 1990s, floor models were essentially rendered irrelevant and they became obsolete. Now, it's difficult to imagine a time in the past when it was typical to have an entire unit set aside for the TV. But these floor TVs served as a stark reminder of how far technology has advanced in recent decades. But nothing will ever compare to slapping the side of those suckers to clear out the vacuum tubes, though. Priceless. Next up, fur furniture and bedding. The 1970s saw a huge craze for bedding furniture, which has since gone into oblivion, thankfully. Fur was regarded as an opulent addition to any house, giving living rooms more texture and coziness. Furry accents such as pillows, throws, and headboards were essential for anyone aiming for an opulent interior design aesthetic. In today's world, faux fur substitutes made of synthetic materials like polyester or acrylic fibers have largely replaced this trend due to worries about animal welfare. Still, these items are recognizable reminders of the vibrant colors and textures that were popular in interior design in the 70s. And when coupled with our next item, were the bane of vacuum cleaners worldwide. I'm talking about shag carpeting. In the 70s, shag carpeting was one of the most common floor coverings in homes. Shag was distinguished by its rich, deep pile and vivid colors, which are still easily recognizable. Though they're not as common as they used to be, they still provide a satisfying feeling, until it's time to clean them. Even though the dated tech and dubious style might make us giggle, these lost antiquities are still a reminder of the past. Time of ooey gooey chocolate chip cookies at grandma's house and Saturday morning cartoons that didn't suck. Anyway, is there anything I forgot to mention on my list that has a special place in your heart? If so, please kindly list it in the comments below. Don't forget to give our video a thumbs up and a subscription if you'd like to see more interesting content from us like this. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.